Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. So, yeah, I was just coming in from the heat outside, and I will tell you this time of year around Arizona, it is hot. And when I say it's hot, but it's not the best. It's not the worst. It's not the best either. So, sometimes you're in a point in life where you just got to deal with things as they come to you. And the heat is one of those things you just got to deal with. There are beautiful things beyond the heat. Anyways, y'all, if you have not followed the podcast, make sure you hit that follow button because when you do, you'll never miss a moment to rewire the way you think. How many of you would love to go from being the black sheep of the family to being the goat within the family, right? A lot of times, I feel like a lot of us take family and friends and the people that are close to us. And somehow, in some way, we put the black sheep marker on us. In reality, we're not the black sheep. But because we've categorized ourselves as the black sheep, in our minds, we become the black sheep. And when you become the black sheep, you start living life like the black sheep, like staying on the north side and everybody else is on the west side. Like everybody is going to all these functions and gatherings and parties. And every time one comes up, you're never available. Or you're hearing things that people are saying about you. You have no proof, but you're hearing and you think things are being said about you. When all those things come into play, you become the black sheep of the family. At least is how you feel. I remember growing up, and when I got a little bit older, I started to play the role as the black sheep. And I started to feel like everybody in my family was against me. No, it wasn't personal to anyone in particular. It wasn't that someone said, hey, you're the black sheep, but it's the mindset that I had learned to live through. And that mindset was the black sheep. But today I want to teach you how to go from being the black sheep to the greatest of all times within the family. Now, when I say greatest of all times, it doesn't mean you have to shine on someone and say, I'm better than you. I make more money than you. My house is bigger than yours. And yes, y'all, I'll put that in there because some of y'all walk around like, oh my God, I'm better than you. Some of y'all do. And it stands out. Everybody can see it. And so when I say, and if that doesn't remind you of anything, you might want to stop and think and see if you're the one that always, every time you get around people, because if you don't know who it is, then it's you that's, everywhere you go. So quit, everywhere you go. So people don't put you out and think you better than them. But anyways, y'all, back to what I was saying. Would you love to be the greatest of all time within your family? And again, it doesn't mean you're better than anybody. Doesn't mean your money is your statue. Doesn't mean your material things in life makes you better than them. It just means that your family adores the person that you have become. And when your family adores the person that you have become, guess what? They want to be around you. And when they want to be around you, then you no longer have that I'm the black sheep of the family feeling. You start to have that feeling of I'm the greatest of all times within my family. My family all loves me. I have no issues with them and they have no issues with me. I'm going to today's gathering. So that's how you become the GOAT of all time within a family. But in order for you to become the GOAT within the family, you got to jump the hurdle and not want to be the black sheep of the family. It's easy to play and be the black sheep of the family because it feels good. It feels like everybody leaves little poor you out. It feels good, don't it? Yeah, it do. Don't say it don't, because some of y'all, I know it feels good because when I played the black sheep of the family, in some moments it felt good to me to be the black sheep because poor little me was on my own little herd in my own little ranch by myself and no one wanted to come play with me. And because no one wanted to come play with me, it felt good for me to say, see, I knew I was the sheep of the family and let alone I'm the black sheep. I know some of you think, because I've been there, I've done that. Anyways, though, how do you become the greatest of all time? How do you start to feel accepted by your family? And that's what I think a lot of our issue is that sometimes we don't feel accepted because we don't accept who we are. Half the time, we don't even know who we are. So until you know who you are, you can't accept you or no one else can accept you because nobody knows who you are, including yourself. So you got to learn to know who you are and be yourself. Once you learn who you are, be yourself. Right. But one thing I want to say about going from being the black sheep of the family to the goat of the family, you have to increase your emotional intelligence. I was just sharing with my wife a couple of weeks ago that I feel like my emotional intelligence is above average because when someone walks in a room, I can feel their aura. I can feel the vibe that they're giving off. I don't know if this is a gift that God gave me. I don't know if it's just because I know people and I connect with people easy, but my emotional intelligence is above average. But anyways, back to my story. I was just sharing my wife about how I feel like that I have a connection with people to understand their vibes, their auras, their personalities when they first walk in the room. So I was in class, at my job. It was a manager's class. And this person walked in, and this person walked in later than everyone else. And when you walk in later in a room and your personality is not the greatest, believe me, y'all, everybody can see it. It stands out. So don't think you can walk in a room and have a bad personality and people don't know it because they do. Right. But this person walked in that day. And I was like, right when they walked in, the black cloud came with this person. And I was like, okay, we'll see how today's class go with this person. And believe me, mind y'all, I didn't know this person. I just felt the aura when this person walked in the room. Well, it was an empty seat next to me. And so this person comes and sit, yes, next to me. And so as they sitting there, we started class, started introducing ourselves and things of that nature. Well, and this person introduced herself to me, and she didn't give the best introduction of herself. And there wasn't a best way or good way to give an introduction. It just wasn't an introduction. It was more like, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just in here because I have to. Hello and goodbye. That's what I got from that person's personality. But as time went by, this person started to open up a little bit more and share more things, share who they are, share their management experience and skills, and then so on. And like I said, y'all, I know people when they walk in the room with a personality. But by the time this person was done in this class with partnering with me, this person was wide open. This person started telling me about their outside life, about their inside work life, about what they struggle with at work, about the things they love at work. And again, I feel like having a high, above average emotional intelligence because I can read people in some cases. But for myself, I was happy because this person walked in with the cloud, and by the time they left, it was a sun. The sun was shining over this person's head, and so I was excited about that. So, how do you go from being the black sheep to being the goat of the family? Number one, increase your emotional intelligence. Let me tell you why emotional intelligence is so important because it helps you know you, and it helps you know other people, and you can understand emotions. But some of y'all are emotionless. You don't care about understanding someone else's emotions. You don't even understand your own emotions, right? So if you don't understand your own, how can you understand someone else's emotions? But I'm going to tell you, if you increase your emotional intelligence, you get to understand and feel emotions around you, and you know kind of how people feel and how their emotions impact them versus how their emotions impact you. So when I was telling my wife that same story, she was like, yeah, you do have a higher emotional intelligence. She go, but sometimes you have to be very careful. You, pointing at me, she said, because sometimes you allow your emotional intelligence to rub off on you when someone else, when you feel their emotion, you take on their emotion and you go with their feeling. And at first I wanted to deny it and say it wasn't true. But then the day I was like, you know what? You're right. You spot on, know me. Sometime when someone shares their emotions with me, I try to connect with them to the point to where I feel that emotion. And because I try to feel that emotion, I carry it outside of the room sometime. It's not the best thing to do, It's not the worst thing to do. Again, it's just that my emotional intelligence is above average. And I've learned when to cut it off now and say, hey, that emotion got to stop. I understand how you feel, but within me, I feel it, but I can't carry it. Right. So, number one, increase your emotional intelligence. Because when you increase your emotional intelligence, you can understand how people feel and you can understand how yourself feel emotionally. And you know how to control your emotions. Now, you're probably wondering and saying, Coach James, I don't know how to increase my emotional intelligence. Number one, I will tell you how to increase your emotional intelligence. The number one thing is to do is become a better listener. Have engaged listening. Really understand people. Try to feel where they're coming from. Try to understand their feelings in the moment or whatever they're sharing with you. And voila, you have increased emotional intelligence because you listen. Number two, be understanding. You got to really understand people. Everybody has a story to tell. And some people's story is worse off than others. Some people can tell you a nightmare that you look back and be like, whoa, I'm glad I never lived that life. Or some people can tell you a story that is the greatest thing, and you're like, why didn't that happen to me? But be understanding, right? Let people share themselves with you, and you share yourself with them to be understanding. Because in a lot of cases, if you understand people, people will understand and try to understand you better. But if you just shut everybody out and you don't understand them or try to understand them, you don't get the same response from most people. You don't want to know me, and I don't want to know you. And I know y'all have heard that before because you've probably been the one that said that I'm just here to work. I'm not here to make friends. I'm just here to show up because the judge said I have to be. Sounds familiar to some of y'all, don't it? I'm sure it do. But be understanding. Next, move forward. A lot of us are stuck holding on to our past, holding on to our worries, our fears, our doubts, things that happened to us, people that ran our foot over. We just never forgave them. And that just sits within your emotions. It sits within your heart. It sits on your mind and you ruminate on these things. And next thing you know, you hate everybody in the world because of one person ran your big toe over. I did say big toe, y'all. I didn't say pinky toe. I said big toe. But because that happened, you don't want to move forward. You don't want to be forgiving of people. You don't want to be forgiving of your own self. And so you harbor these feelings for all of these years and you don't want to move forward. And because you don't move forward, you end up being this ball of orneriness on the inside. I said orneriness, y'all. My grandmother, bless her heart, she passed away years and years ago. But one of her favorite words was ornery. She said a lot. She would say, Baby James. That's what everybody in my family used to call me when I was little. Baby James. She would say, Baby James, I don't know why that person is just so honoring. They just honoring, ain't they? And me being as little as I was, didn't really know what honoring was. But I'm like, yeah, Grandma, I don't know why they so honoring. So that was the word my grandma taught me. So don't be honoring. Move forward. Don't let people ruin your day. Never let people steal your joy. I took this leadership course years and years ago. And this is a different course from what I just explained to y'all about this manager's course. But I took this course years and years ago. And one of the coaches in there really, really honed in on teaching us about how holding in and harboring on to past emotions because somebody hurt you really affects you. He said that his story, how he got hurt by somebody, is that he held that hurt in for 40 years of his life. And for 40 years, pretty much almost all of his adulthood, he was just this angry person. He was ornery there's that word again. He was ornery with everybody around him, including himself. He hated himself. He blamed himself for what happened. He couldn't let go. But then one day, the light switch came on. And he realized that in order for him to change his life, to not be ornery anymore, he's got to move forward from his 9-year-old childhood trauma scenario that he dealt with. He realized that he could not harbor that anymore. He was tired of being ornery. He was tired of hating the world. He was tired of looking in the mirror, hating himself. And so he said that he woke up one day and he said, you know what? The person who took advantage of me took advantage of my body, but not my mind. And he said at that very moment, when that set in and it made sense to him, he moved forward. And when he moved forward, he was able to enjoy his life. See, I move forward from your past. It's a hurtful past. Yes. It's something that's going to maybe knock on your door every now and then, but move forward from it. Don't let it pull you back or hurt you anymore. Let the pain go. Let the hurt go. Let the honoriness go. You don't need that in your life anymore. You want to be this big shine, rainbows and unicorns that everybody wants to be around. Majority of people. My wife and my daughter was talking the other day, and my daughter was sharing an experience with my wife or some type of scenario. And my wife said, you know what? Let me just say this, just so you know. You're not going to always be everybody's cup of tea, but you're definitely going to be somebody's wine, so in somebody's wine glass. And at first I was like, what? I've never heard that before. So let me say it again. She said, you're not going to always be everybody's cup of tea, but you're definitely going to be somebody's wine glass or in somebody's wine glass, right? Which means somebody is and going to like you. And so y'all move forward. Last but not least, be loving. You know, the Bible talks a lot about being loving. Love thy neighbor. Men, husbands, honor your wife. Wives, respect your husband. Be submissive, right? Loving is submissiveness, whether you want to realize it or not. Loving your wife like the church is being loving to her, being kind to her, being understanding of her emotions. Moving forward from an argument you had 3 weeks ago. That's what be loving really means, y'all. You have to be loving with yourself and be loving with people. When I was going through my family issue, I wasn't loving to nobody, including myself. I just wanted to be in my own little bubble, in my own little, I hate the world, no one likes me type of environment, because that's the environment that I felt most comfortable in. And when I felt comfortable in that environment, I created it more and more. And I tried to make everyone that was close to me be in my same little environment. But they weren't having it. They was like, hey, look, you can be in your environment by yourself, but we're not going to be in that environment with you. And so be loving, y'all. Love thy neighbor, love thy wife, love thy husband, and definitely love thy children and thy family. Because once you get over that issue with whatever you might be struggling with within yourself or your family, you're able to be the GOAT. You're able to be the GOAT. So y'all shared my story before about how I thought I was a black sheep of the family. And because like I said, my emotional intelligence was always above average. I started to really understand people, understand myself. I moved forward from all my past hurt. And when I became more loving, my family started to reach out to me more. My sister started to text me and call me and check on me. My mom started to call me weekly and see how I was doing. My father started to call me when he had free time to call me, right? My kids started to text me and check on me instead of me checking on them. And so how do you go from being a black sheep to being the GOAT of the family? That's how you do it. Number one, increase your emotional intelligence. Be understanding. Number three, move forward from the past. And last but not least, be loving, be kind, and give love back to people. How you do it, y'all? So if you said yes, you want to go from being a black sheep to being the GOAT of the family, you now have the solution to that problem. All you have to do now is take action. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to hit that follow button. When you do, you never miss a moment to rewire the way you think. Check out my website. It's www.rewirethewayouthink.com. Yeah, I'm not hard to find. I'm on IG all day. It's Fast Forward Mindset Podcast. If you're struggling today with thoughts of suicide, thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, please don't hesitate to call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. And as I always say, if your monster doesn't make you money, it's costing you way too much. And that's my 2 cents in there, y'all. Hey. Peace.
Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. And remember, don't rewind your life, fast forward it. Until next time, keep moving forward. Hey y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. All right, y'all. Peace.